today I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkiff has done towards me.
Disgusting.
And some of these issues which are still ongoing.
I'm not gonna lie, Mizkiff, the internet is coming for your head, and I'm gonna be the first to tell you that you fucking deserve it. What it is, I was your boy Ian X Hunter, and look, if you are on the streamer side of the internet, if you're on the Twitch side of the internet, then without a shadow of a doubt, you've heard about the Emaru and the Mizkiff situation, because it is completely insane. It is a crazy story involving none other than Mizkiff, who already, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not so familiar with his content specifically. The only reason I even know of Mizkiff's name is because he constantly be getting in drama, or every time I see him at least, he be in some kind of drama. But this time it's not just internet disagreements with another streamer. No, this time it is allegedly crossing the lines of not only harassment, stalking allegedly, of both physical assault and SA, the other kind of assault, which I can't say on YouTube for YouTube purposes, but we all get the picture. About the last 2 months have been pretty hard on Emaru. She's been going through a bunch of different hard situations, most notably with her situation over at TwitchCon when she got assaulted by a supposed quote-unquote fan. Wasn't a real fan. If you was a fan, you wouldn't have done that to her. But in the midst of that situation going on, and in Twitch themselves not having a proper response to it, which honestly might be its own video coming after this. Now, for the sake of this video, we're only gonna go through a few points, but I implore you that if you want to learn about more details about what's going on between Emaru and Mizkiff, watch that stream. But one of the first points that she brings up in this stream is her explaining how much of an insecure man that Mizkiff is, to the point where when he finds out that he's not included in a MrBeast video, that he takes it out on Emaru.
And this wasn't like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did. A lot of the time, like one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food and he was on his phone and he saw that MrBeast had put out a video, and MrBeast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, MrBeast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess, nigga, I don't know.
What do you want me to say? 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
Now, just because MrBeast does not fuck with yo stupid ass, just because Jimmy Donaldson don't want to have you in his video, now you gotta take it out on me? Now you gotta kill both of us because yo musty dusty ass can't be in a MrBeast video? No. That's not right. That shit, I don't know. But what's honestly even crazier is that the deeper that we get into the weeds of this whole situation, that honestly is like, that's light at this point. At the next point during the stream, Emaru starts to detail about how Mizkiff will be giving her black eyes by throwing plastic water bottles at her, apparently, and phones at her.
He would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruise very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time
I know that shit hurt too.
Hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye.
I've had that happen to me. That shit hurt.
He always, you know, was like, oh, it's an accident, and I was like, oh yeah.
I don't know. To me, throwing a phone accidentally at one person, sure, you can label it an accident. You know, I didn't see you there, didn't mean to happen, won't happen again. But if it's a repeated process, if it is a pattern to the point where you're coming out with black eyes because this person is just throwing water bottles and phones at you, I don't know. It seems like there's a link missing in this water bottle phone throwing situation. But Emaru didn't harp on it too much throughout her stream because, believe it or not, there is more shocking shit that Mizkiff allegedly did to Emaru. But before we get to the most heinous part of the whole story, there is something that the internet noticed that Twitter found, because, you know, Twitter's gonna find it, that had a lot of people scratching their heads when the pattern was recognized from Mizkiff's past relationship with another content creator named Maya Higa. No relation to Ryan Higa, at least to my knowledge. I don't know these people. But allegedly, but apparently, Mizkiff was displaying the same behaviors to Maya when they were in their relationship. Let's take a look.
No, I'm not talking to him today.
Well, nobody asked you to, so.
I'm not.
Okay. Look at her face. She's so uninterested.
You know, like on some kind of stream podcast.
Maya unimpressed. That's what that was.
Two Starbucks bags. Starbucks, they got you over the
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Why you gotta throw the Why you gotta throw the bags at her? Am I tweaking? I don't know. If you just randomly throwing Starbucks bags at her, it's kind of plausible that the nigga's throwing plastic water bottles and phones.
Anyway, there's something about being trapped in a car with an angry aggro man that is like the absolute most helpless thing. Dude, I used to...
Nice.
I did a guy that would go like 100 miles an hour on the, like we would fight in the car, which was never my decision. Like it just always like happened. Like we just would like fight in the car.
Fight in the car, okay.
And I would like literally like beg him to slow down. I'd be so scared and I'd cry, and then he would not slow down, so I apologize.
Does that story not sound like the MrBeast Mizkiff story that we just heard a couple minutes back about him doing 150 because he wasn't in a fucking video? But honestly, Mizkiff's response to this specific point of not being violent is a horrible response because I'm gonna just let you watch it.
And I reflect on those situations with poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Do you even hear yourself right now? She would throw plushies, soft plushies that children play with, clothes made of fabric that most of the times won't hurt you. And in retaliation, you punched a wall? I don't know. I've had my little siblings throw toys at me before. I've never had the urge to punch a fucking wall. I don't know. That just seems a little aggro, I don't know. That's just, comment down below. Tell me if I'm tripping. Emaru goes on to say that Mizkiff told her that if she was to ever come out about the shit that was going on in their relationship, that he would run a smear campaign on her and start telling the whole internet that she, quote unquote, abuses her pet rabbits, which in all actuality was maybe a good plan for Mizkiff's own benefit, because we just saw how the whole internet was ready to put Hassan Abi's head on a stake for apparently shot collaring his dog. So if it came out that Emaru was willingly mistreating her rabbits, oh yeah, the whole internet would go into frenzy.
He has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused.
Shout out to them streamers, man. And keep in mind, Emaru said that before Mizkiff made his response. So you would think logically he would not go down that route because it would validate her point, and B, it would make him look incredibly stupid. So what does Mizkiff do? He doubles down on what Emaru said he was gonna do.
Emaru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part of her life. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them.
I'm sorry, I don't even want to continue listening to this motherfucker, bro. He's getting allegations of assault, harassment, stalking. These are serious allegations, y'all. I mean, I don't need to tell y'all. These are very serious allegations. And his retort, his 1,000 IQ comeback. Bro, she was not feeding her rabbits. Her rabbits were dirty. And you know nobody was buying that baloney. Nobody was buying that malarkey from Mr. Kiff of Miz. And now this is where the most heinous part of the situation comes in. Before we get into this portion of it, I do want to give a trigger warning. It can get pretty graphic.
The emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying, and he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants, and I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, "I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go." And he immediately left my house while I was still crying, without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still.
That's just disgusting. And it's like, he can say that he was just trying to help her out, trying to make her feel better, but you know you did something wrong. By the way you reacted off of her jumping up and screaming, you know you did something wrong, especially compounded with the fact that you didn't want to check up on her afterwards. Maybe not directly after, but maybe a text or something, a phone call, anything, just to make sure that she's okay, to apologize for not reading the room correctly.
I was a massive wreck. Couldn't think straight. And
get these crocodiles.
being that Emaru hung out with me all
out
day,
of here.
She too started to become high strung. Ugh.
I'm not buying this shit.
We would yell at each other, fight, and argue all the time. Things we never once did. I felt this relationship was taking a huge strain. But I thought it could be fixed over time, since things were just so amazing that first year. But...
Bro, these crocodile ass tears. I hate niggas like this, bro. This nigga is fucking sick. But to my knowledge, at the moment, Emery was in the process of getting a restraining order from Mizkiff, both in Texas and in California, both the states that they reside in. I'm assuming. Nah, he has to be held accountable. You can't just do all of this heinous shit, you know, have all the proof out there for you, and then just go back and boot upstream like nothing was happening. And I know shit like that happens all the time. But if there's a situation where we can nip that in the bud and maybe make an example for niggas not to do shit like this in the future, then fuck it, let's do it.